Okay, so for this video, I am doing synthetic division. So this example is x squared plus 3x plus 5 divided by x minus 2. So the first thing you want to start out by doing is you want to start with your root. So you want to set it equal to 0. So x minus 2 equals 0. And then you add 2. Ooh, this just looks bad. To both sides. And then you have your little root, which is x equals 2. So I'm going to go ahead and clear my board, and then I'll go get on to the synthetic division part. So now that you have your 2, you're going to want to put your 2 in a little shelf. And if you looked back at the example, our equation was x squared plus 3x plus 5. So you want to take each coefficient from each variable, I guess. So with x squared, that's going to be a 1. With 3x, that's going to be the what is happening? That is going to be the 3. And with 5, obviously, it's going to be the 5. So the next thing you want to do is draw a line under it and then put a little plus sign right here. So the first step is to bring your 1 down like that. And then you want to multiply your 1 by your 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. And then 3 plus 2 is 5. And then you just add, obviously, because there's a little addition symbol there. And then 5 times 2 is 10. And 5 plus 10 is 15. So now you have these numbers. I'm going to go ahead and actually, that's not the right number, right? Not number. I'm just going to go ahead and erase all of this. And now we have these 3 numbers right here. So how you would turn this into an actual answer or actual equation is you're going to do, so you had x squared and you had x, right, at the beginning. So whatever your, your divisor is, you're going to subtract like the exponents, I guess. So you would take the x out of the x squared, if that makes any sense. I don't know how to explain it, but basically you're doing x squared minus x. So what's 2 minus 1? 2 minus 1 is just 1. So you're just going to have 1x here. And there's also no coefficient. I mean, there is, it's 1, but I'll write it just to be nice. And then you're going to move on to your next number. So because this has an x in front of it already, you're not going to put any variables with the 5. So 1x plus 5. And so now you might be asking, oh, so what are we doing with this weird 15 over here, right? So this number, whatever number is in your last position right here, is always going to be your remainder. So you want to add it because it's a positive number. And then how you write your remainder, it's not just like R15, like whatever, like regular long division is without variables. It's going to be whatever your remainder is, so that's 15 over your divisor is what I think it's called, over x minus 2. And this right here is going to be your answer. So yeah. Okay, so our next example is a little bit different. Sorry it got a little wonky when I was writing it, but it starts out the same way. So you are going to take your divisor, that's what it's called, yes, and set it equal to 0, just like you did with your last one. And okay, don't have room. Let me just fix that. And then you're going to add 5 and divide by 6. And you're going to get that your root is 5/6. So there you go. So now you know your root is 5/6. I'm just going to go ahead and erase all of this, but I'm going to keep my 5/6 and my little equation. Go away. Okay, so you're going to start the same way. You're going to put 5/6 in your little shelf. And then you're going to find your coefficient. So that's what? 12, 38, -16. Yeah, that's a divided by the way, it's not a minus. and then negative 20. I'm actually going to erase this 5, 6 because it's getting in my way. Okay, so then you bring down your 12, like we did in the first example. Okay, 12 times 5 sixths, I can't speak, is 10. And then 38 plus 10 is 48. 48 times 5 sixths is 40. Negative 16 plus 40 is positive 24. Positive 24 times 5 sixths is 20. So with this problem, we have these numbers, and as you can see, it's a 0 in this place. So that actually means that there's no remainder. This one's nice and pretty. My favorite type of problem, no remainder problems. Okay, so again, I'm gonna erase this stuff. Okay, sorry. Okay, so to write your final answer, you have x cubed and x, so 3 minus 1 is going to be 2. So you're going to start off with x squared, so you have 12x squared, and then plus 48x, and then there's no more variables or variables with exponents, if that makes any sense, to go. So you have just 24. And that, actually, that is not your final answer. I almost said that was your final answer, but it's not. Because remember when we had this wonky, weird little 6 up here? You actually have to divide each term by that 6, and I'm not gonna have room. So let me just erase again. So 12 divided by 6 is 2x squared, and it doesn't change your x squared at all, or your variables. So then you have 48x divided by 6, which is not 48, it is 8x, and then 24 divided by 6 is just 4. So this is your actual final answer, and that's it. Okay, so for our third and final problem, it's again a little bit different, but it starts out the same. So you're gonna take one of your roots. I don't know, I'm just gonna choose this one. So you have x minus 2, you set it equal to 0, you add the 2, blah, 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 x equals 2. And then you wanna do the same thing with your other root. So you have x plus 3, set it equal to, ooh, that's ugly. Set it equal to 0, and then you have minus 3. I really hope you were laughing with me, Miss Pedersen, and not at me. And then you have x equals negative 3. So I'm going to go ahead and clear my board, but we need to remember these two roots and this equation. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the positive 2 in my shelf because, I don't know, maybe I like it better. I don't know. So with our equation, we had x cubed plus 2x squared minus 5x minus 6. So those coefficients would be positive 1, positive 2, negative 5, and negative 6. Okay, so we draw our little line and our little plus sign, sorry. We bring down our first term, which is a 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Negative 5 plus 8 is positive 3. 3 times 2 is positive 6. And then we have no remainder. So we're actually not done at this point. We still have that negative 3 that we also need to synthetic divide this by. So let me clear this board. So we have 1, 4, and 3. So let's put our negative 3 in our shelf and write our 1, our 4, and our 3. So if we do that, we bring down our 1. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. 4 plus negative 3 is 1. 1 times negative 3 is again negative 3. 3 plus negative 3 is 0. So now we have this. So you had x cubed at the beginning, right? So then you subtracted x, so 3 minus 1 is 2. But then you have another x because you had two divisors or whatever they're called, roots. So you actually have x just to the 1, which is just x. So you have 1x plus 1. And there's no remainder right here. It's just a 0. So that means there's no remainder in our problem. So this right here is actually your final answer.